Hi there, welcome to Tarotland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Sagittarius energy. And like usual, we're going to do the two rows. Top row is like high vibe Sagittarius energy. The bottom row is kind of more shadowy or more worldly or more immature, indulgent Sagittarius energy. It could be a battle going on within yourself. We all have a dualistic nature. We all want the things that we want in the world. But, you know, are we going to listen to our intuition to guide us? Are we going to take action out of fear or insecurity or codependency or lust or greed or pride or ego? Are we, if you've been around the block enough, you realize that taking action not from love and listening to your intuition is probably going to not work out the way you planned. So, it's to be open and honest and authentic and being bold and brave and believing in yourself, believing in your future, believing in your dreams, and taking action in love. So we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives, but there might be some people out there who definitely are aligned with their high vibe Sagittarius energy, which is about higher learning and education and being motivated and inspired to shed some layers of your ways of being, not wanting to have the same fears and insecurities for the next 5 years that you've had for the last 5 years. Wanting to grow and mature yourself, heal from some past pain and heartbreak, and some people aren't motivated to do that at all. It does take putting in work and effort, and some people would rather go indulge in the world to feel better instead of putting in the work and effort to see the truth, and the truth is what sets us free. So let's go see what we got going down here. The reason for the reading for the high vibe energy is the Seven of Cups. And the only card showing itself in the reading is the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups walks away from the Seven of Cups. So if there was something in your life that, well, for some of you, it could be someone who harnesses shadowy Scorpio energy, because that's what the Seven of Cups is, Scorpio energy. And if you're in high vibe energy, well, sometimes we have to walk away from people who harness high vibe Scorpio energy too, because of different conflicts in our life, right? If someone's already in relationship with high vibe Scorpio people, why would they engage in a relationship, like a romantic relationship with someone else who harnesses high vibe Scorpio energy? And high vibe Scorpio is relationships that you can have really deep, meaningful relationships and connections with. And if some people are already in a relationship with someone that they have that kind of relationship, they're certainly going to walk away from other people in the world who might present themselves as an option, because that's what the Seven of Cups can talk about. Can you imagine that we could probably have a deep, meaningful relationship? But if someone's already in a deep, meaningful relationship, that would be, why would you do that? You wouldn't. So some high vibe people that are in that kind of situation are moving forward with the people that they're in relationship with, that they have deep, meaningful, loving relationships with. Some people, though, could be walking away from people who harness shadowy Scorpio energy, and they don't have to be a Scorpio sun sign. It's just how they harness their Scorpio energy. Some people, you had hopes and dreams of a dream coming into reality, that it'd be a new loving relationship, and then you find out that it's kind of more like they just create an illusion of being that, but really they could be people who like to keep their emotions very beneath the surface. They might be emotionally shallow and superficial. They might be intimidating and controlling. They might have this really black and white way of thinking, like this is right, this is good, this is bad, and they can't live in the gray area. That we all have this dualistic nature. We all live in a dualistic world. It's to kind of hopefully be in the bell curve of the majority of not going out on the extremes of our emotions and our thoughts and, living life in a way that we maintain balance within ourselves. It'd be like someone saying, if someone snubbed me at one time in my life, that's it. They're bad. Well, life's about growing and maturing yourself, right? And we all have had to learn lessons in life. We've all grown up in our worldly nature, and our intuitive, loving nature is what we can tap into to get us out of being like a beast in the world, selfish and greedy and prideful and egotistical and self-centered and wanting to be indulged and egotistical and all about ourselves and not giving a damn about anybody else, you know? And some people, though, that's a characteristic, it could be of Scorpio, where they have a hard time. And it could even be about what you should love and what you shouldn't love. Living life, listening to your intuition, that's bad. Listening, being creative, inspired in the world instead of conforming to the world, that's bad. Being bold and brave and confident, that makes you look egotistical. You should conform to the world and try to fit and blend in. You know, it just depends on how people were brought up, you know. People, you can put a negative spin on almost any trait and characteristic, but we all might know people that are bold and brave and confident, and they're very arrogant and self-centered. Well, that would be someone harnessing shadowy energy. You can be bold and brave in your life and treat people with love and respect and kindness and empathy and consideration. But some people, because they don't live their life that way, and they could have been brought up to think that's bad, you shouldn't do that, that means you're egotistical or whatever. You know, I'm sure you get the idea. Okay. High vibe people are offering themselves a cup of love to walk away from things in their life. The Seven of Cups can even be, why am I living my life being emotionally confused? Why don't I offer myself love to try to work through my emotional confusion? Why do I work with other people who seem to be maybe really emotionally confused and they never walk away from the things in their life that emotionally confuse them? You know, are we willing to walk away from our illusions and our emotional confusion and things in our life that contribute to us being emotionally confused? Do we have people in our life who try to emotionally confuse us? Underneath that, we do have, you know, some people we have the Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups can be someone we have like a soulmate relationship with, someone who's significant in our life, that was to be a significant person in our life, at least at some point in time in our life, because they're an integral person to our life story of becoming who we're meant to become. But that can be children, siblings, parents. And over here, for the shadowy reason, we have the Six of Pentacles, which does talk about our underlying philosophy of life. It's also Taurus energy. And Taurus energy is about, what do we put work and effort into in the world? Are we more driven by money and materialism and status and image and want people to look up to and admire us? Is that the driving goal of being in relationships? And if we find ourselves in a relationship with someone and we didn't see the truth of it, the Seven of Cups could be, I'm confused, I'm not seeing things clearly. Why? Because we had some lessons to learn. And it was maybe, the whole point of it was maybe to learn, you know, I think we come in contact with all these different people in the world to get clear about what our truth is versus what other people's truths are. And we can be really naive and gullible when we first start going out in the world. Even later, we can be naive and gullible because we weren't aware of what good false masks some people wear in the world, you know, and even to realize that some people wear a false mask, you know, like a permanent feature on their face. And some people could have gotten in jobs and relationships with people where they thought it was going to move forward in love and respect and people putting in work and effort. Acting, high vibe Taurus is acting with character and integrity. And that's what people could have thought, because that's how people presented themselves. And they presented themselves as people who wanted to have a new emotional beginning and be in deep, meaningful relationships. That they were also willing to walk away from other people in their life that they maybe had the opportunity to be in a relationship with. You know, if you're going to pick to be in a relationship, it's kind of like hiring an employee, you know. If I'm going to hire you, I can't hire this person. If I'm going to choose that I love you and want to be in a romantic, loving relationship with you, well, I have to give up my other options. And some people have a lot of confusion about doing that. And they kind of go back and forth. The reason for the shadowy reading is the Temperance card, which I've kind of never thought of it as kind of like a juggling card. But, you know, I view the Temperance card as, you know, the divine trying to help us balance out our strong emotions to guide us. And some people right now, I kind of, we can have strong emotions and, they're holding the Two of Cups, which is this card, There could be some people in the world that are very divided over kind of what they want to align with within themselves and what they decide to align with within themselves. Am I open to love? Am I willing to be vulnerable? Am I willing to walk away from my fears and my insecurities about being open and authentic and loving in a relationship? Or would I rather align with my egoic nature and be defensive to being hurt and just create an illusion and get in relationships with people, exchange time, energy, and effort, create the illusion I'm willing to do a deep, meaningful relationship, but then when the other people want me to walk away from my emotionally defensive nature or, really put in work to bring the dream into reality, which also means, like say you're going to get married. The people that you marry and that family you create, it doesn't mean like everyone else in your life has no worth and value, but your loyalty and obligation and first priority should be the people who are working together with you to create that next phase of life. It's like a child departing from a family in a sense, out of the nest to go build their own nest. That new nest is the priority in their life. You come back and you visit the old nest, with the parents and the family, just like other people do. But some people also have a real divided loyalty. Maybe some of them have some people in their life that have illusions in their Scorpio energy that you can get in other relationships, but your loyalty should always be to us. We should always come first. That would be shadowy energy. That would be prideful, controlling, manipulative. So anyway, the Seven of Cups, I'm just trying to say, could be a lot of things. And high vibe people, it's probably caused them a lot of inner conflict within themselves if they kind of have. It can also kind of represent emotional confusion and fears and insecurities. That causes us a lot of inner conflict. Some people kind of can't decide, should I live my life and be in relationships with people who are loving and just and fair and loyal and committed, or should I get in a relationship with someone who wants to be in a relationship with me, but it's more about money and materialism and status and image? I think they would even know that the one that they want to get in a relationship is because they're tempted by their worldly nature. Materialism. Or it could just be someone who indulges them in their illusions. It can be their ego. It can be their fearful nature. It can be their immature nature, where they don't have to learn to become more emotionally independent. Because the Eight of Cups is heading to the Nine of Cups, and the Nine of Cups is about loving yourself to become independent of your egoic nature, to have hope and faith and belief in your dreams, that you offer yourself love to get out of some of your fears and your insecurities, and that all takes work and effort. And also being more independent emotionally in the world, so you're not as emotionally codependent on other people in your life. Out of codependency, out of lust, out of greed, out of not believing in yourself and believing you can manifest your dreams into reality, being more emotionally independent in the world. That I know my worth and value. My worth and value is more than being in my ego about the world. I want to live my authentic life. I want to be who I authentically am. I want to be bold and brave and confident. Look at life as an adventure to be lived. Judge away, world. I'm going to offer people love and respect and kindness and compassion. Why would anybody have a problem with it? Well, there's a lot of people who could have a problem with that, because shadowy energy can talk about people who are enslaved by things that they haven't broken free of. Well, if I'm aligned with my worldly nature and I make my life about what I wear and what I drive and how much money, and that dictated what relationships I got in and what career field I got in, and I didn't really go live the life of my dreams, and I didn't go get in the career I really wanted, and I didn't get in the relationship I really wanted because I wanted the status and the image and the money and the materialism, and I'm just not bold and brave and confident. Yeah, those people are going to have a problem with other people who go live their authentic life because our shadow nature is kind of represented by the devil. Our fears, our insecurities, our pride, our ego, our selfishness, our lust, our greed, our not wanting to grow and mature ourselves, that keeps us imprisoned and enslaved and restricted. And we'll keep repeating that pattern and way of living our life till it becomes so emotionally confusing and miserable and unhappy because we thought we could play it safe and not have to put in work and effort to heal or love ourselves or reconcile ourselves with the past, and that we didn't have to step out of our comfort zone and we could just keep staying where we were forever, never changing, never growing. And it becomes stagnant energy and it becomes confusing. And so some people just can't take it anymore, and they've got to go. And some people are doing that. So it's kind of interesting that we have these two cards here not showing themselves. Some people got in mismatched relationships. They got in a relationship with someone who created the illusion that they harnessed high vibe Sagittarius energy. I am motivated and inspired to look at life as an adventure to be lived. I am ready to move forward in life and detach from my codependencies that I have on other people or the world and my ego and my emotionally defensive nature that makes me feel safe. But could have just been an illusion. And some of the shadowy people weren't showing that they actually could harness these energies in a shadowy way. King of Wands and the Lover's card, kind of like, I like to be in a relationship and indulge in exchanging time, energy, effort, hugs, and kisses and all that good stuff in a relationship, but I really don't want to do love. But, love's kind of optional, they could view. The Lover's card used to be called the Choice card. That makes me kind of think that, well, it is a free will choice, and some people are like, no, I'm not doing love, but I'll move forward with you in a relationship, and I'll have sex with you, and it'll seem like love. It just won't really be truly having a deep, meaningful connection. It initially might seem that way because of the intimacy and the sex, but it really isn't. And some people confuse sex with love, and they think, if they're having sex with someone, that means they love them, or if they're attracted to someone, they must love that person. And so they're hiding that they really maybe don't want to do love, but they do want to be in a relationship. And they do want to exchange. And they're also they don't harness high vibe fairy energy of being bold and brave and confident and taking action in love. They might be just people who are much more, this makes practical, logical sense. It's good for my ego. It's good for my image. It's good for my sexual needs. It's good for stability and security. I do want to be in a relationship for a lot of reasons. I just don't want to take bold, brave, confident action in my life in love, but I want to be in relationships. Well, some of those people could have gotten in relationships with other people and those people moved away. Those people might right now be trying to get in another relationship, hoping the next person they get in a relationship will be caught up in the illusion of who they are and just stay in the illusion that this is love, even though it might be more for practical reasons why I'm getting in a relationship with someone versus love. And when they get in relationships with people who aren't as high vibe Sagittarius energy, who haven't given up on their dreams of love, the high vibe people in their Gemini energy is a dualistic sign. That's what the Eight of Swords is. It's kind of like, what's my truth? Is it love or is it the world? Is it listening to my intuition or listening to my fear and my insecurity? Is it being kind of bold and brave, or is it being, not? And what they didn't realize about some of the high vibe people that they got in a relationship with is that those people have really given a lot of thought to what is love and what isn't love. There's a maximum of 10 in every suit. So if you're 8 swords up in your head, on the other end in the heart is 2 cups of love. And the other people aren't in a mental prison about love, which is what that could be in a shadowy energy. They're people who've really given a lot of thought to what is love and what isn't love. And they want to be in loving relationships. And they listen to their intuition to guide them. I got to pause you for just a moment. Okay, welcome back. I had a child who came in the house. So anyway, high vibe people are listening to their intuition to guide them. They have worked through what is love, what isn't love. Are the people in my life treating me in a just and fair and loving and kind and respectful and encouraging way, or aren't they? Not going to be an illusion about people. And some of the shadowy people didn't realize people in their life would listen to their intuition and believe in themselves to walk away from an illusion to believe in their dreams. I'm going to walk away from shadowy views of life and way of living life and people to align with people who actually believe in their dreams. And then we have these 2 cards not showing themselves. As you move forward, how are you able to move forward? Other people might not be able to figure it out because they don't see that you harness these energies in a high vibe way and you cut people out of your life who harness these energies in a shadowy way because you cut those ways of being out within yourself. What you're doing is you're listening to your intuition. High vibe 7 of Swords is, I have a dream. And I'm going to listen to my intuition. If people come across my path, or if I was moving forward with someone who harnesses shadowy Cancer energy, again, they don't have to be a Cancer sun sign, but they're people who use their emotions manipulatively to get people to move forward in a relationship with them, presenting themselves as like emotionally stable and victorious and successful in the world. It looks good by worldly standards. It's just not love. And high vibe people are listening to their intuition. I don't want to move forward in relationships with people because of ego or image or, and if they live their life that way, I don't want to move forward with them either. And I'm going to listen to my intuition to guide me, and I'm going to get in the driver's seat of my life to take the reins of my dualistic nature, to offer love to my fears and insecurities and self-limiting beliefs so that I can keep moving forward in a stable way and not running my life off into the ditch. And the people in my life who I know harness shadowy Aquarius and shadowy Cancer, that live life more from their mind than their heart, who don't want to listen to their intuition because they have mental conflict about love, maybe being like just and fair in relationships, because that would be a balanced relationship, is being just and fair and treating other people the way you like to be treated. And some people in their shadowy Aquarius energy that you're cutting out of your life could be people who have a problem with love, because they might be people who think they should be indulged in the world and in relationships. Everybody else should put aside their pride and ego in the relationship, but never them. Or they're just people who aren't motivated and inspired by love because they are more comfortable living more from their mind than their heart. And they'd rather make their life more about money and materialism and status and image or indulgence than love. And they think they can get their dreams to come into reality that way. So you're moving forward. Also, what you might not know, as you're moving forward in your life, you could have different people approaching you as you move forward in your life. And you're going to have to listen to your intuition about those people, because there's going to be different types of people who want to be in a relationship with you. Some of them harness shadowy Scorpio energy. They're emotionally shallow and superficial. and they want to come indulge in a relationship with you because it'd be good for their ego or their image or their status, or they think they would look victorious with you, or the other person they were with was loving and they didn't want to do love with that person. They might have the illusion with you that because you walked away from something else that maybe you're emotionally confused, and they can indulge in a relationship with you. And I think you might tell them the truth that, we go from the 8 of Cups back down to the 7 of Cups, that, no, if you're in shadowy energy and are trying to be manipulative and deceptive, I have no interest in being in a relationship with you. And then you might have other people coming towards you who could have found they were in relationships similar to like what you were in. And they realized that if they kept moving forward with that relationship, they weren't being true and authentic to themselves. And they too are listening to their intuition, and they have a dream. They also don't want to be in relationships just because of it looks good by the worldly standards. They really want to have deep emotional relationships, and they're not giving up on their dreams, and they're listening to their intuition. So you're just going to have to listen to your intuition as you move forward. And some of you are here and you could have someone from your past come towards you, and it's the same thing. Some of them, I want to be in a relationship with you. Some of the other relationships that I got into didn't work out, and someone wasn't willing to be in a relationship with me, so I want to come back and indulge in a relationship with you. And you might like, see ya. No, I have. See, some people don't know if you know the truth about who they are, and don't know if you've wrapped your brain around this game of life in high vibe Sagittarius energy. To realize that some people are players. Not everyone who comes towards you and seems attracted to you, that can be us in our naive gullibility, caught up in the illusion of love. Oh my gosh, I've met this person, or they've come towards me, or they seem attracted towards me. It's like people can want to be in a relationship with different people for a lot of different reasons. And the thing is to take time, keep moving forward, maybe taking time to get to know people, maybe without taking passionate action necessarily, to find out if they're people who have offered love to their foundation by which they make decisions in life, or if they're just taking action towards you because whoever else they'd been in a relationship with didn't offer them love in a relationship, or didn't want to stay in a relationship with them. So now they're coming towards you and they're just creating an illusion. So it takes time to get to know what the truth of people are. Are they people who've emotionally detached from the past to move forward in a new beginning? Or are they trying to manipulate someone else in their life that they could have walked away from, trying to get that person to come back in their life and do the relationship the way they want, and you're just a pawn in the game. So down here in the shadowy energy, we already looked at the King of Wands and the Lover's card. Then here, as I just kind of showed you, we have the 4 of Cups and the Hierophant card. Some people right now are maybe exchanging resources with people in a relationship. Some of those people are high vibe people, but they're in a relationship with someone who operates from their ego, who could be 2 cards of Taurus here, people and ignoring love here. So they could be in a relationship with people, or other people in the world could be involved in a relationship with other people who are kind of more focused on the world. It's more about being in a relationship because the status, the image, the stability, the security. I want people to look up and admire me, but I really don't want to do love. And the high vibe people that are in relationships with people like that have maybe been being very patient, and they've probably been putting a lot of work and effort being the one who tries to maintain balance in the relationship, and eventually realizing that they're the only one putting in work and effort to maintain balance. If they started to act like the other person acted in a relationship, where would the love come from? Who's going to invest love in this relationship? There might have been somebody willing to offer sex to the relationship, but who's going to make the foundation seem loving? Who's going to maintain balance? Because someone in the shadowy row is tipped out of balance. And both people can be tipped out of balance, because you can be a loving person, but you enable people in poor behavior. And it's not a just and fair relationship, but you can be loving. It's just that you're enabling people in their poor behavior, and you're not being treated the same way as you're treating other people in a relationship. And some people that are in that type of relationship right now could say, why do I keep doing this? You know, they could be in relationships with people who are, the wands can be talking, it can be intimacy. They could be in relationships with people who aren't even communicating with them, aren't, you know, seeming to be motivated and inspired by them, you know, or attracted to them. And some people, though, have been in a mental prison about listening to their intuition, because that means their intuition could be telling them to walk away. Because being in a shadowy relationship, just like being in a shadowy job, you're in a relationship and working together with people who aren't just and fair. They don't act with character and integrity. They're maybe manipulative or controlling, or shadowy Sagittarius is they could just be immature, you know, maybe bossy and controlling, you know, motivated and inspired to have you stay at the job or stay in the relationship because it's good for their image and their status. It's good for their ego. But is it love? And some of the people that are in a mismatched relationship like that right now with their partners and employers don't know is that the high vibe people are balancing out their emotions and listening to their intuition and working through their fears and insecurities they have about believing in themselves and loving themselves enough to believe that they deserve to be treated the same way they treat other people, and to believe in their dreams, and to no longer be up in their head about moving away from these people. Because the other people, shadowy people, love for other people to be emotionally confused about the truth and be up in their head about listening to their intuition. You know, our high vibe energies, like represented by the divine, our shadowy energies represented by the devil. People who don't plan to treat you the way you treat them, people who don't plan to be more freely giving of themselves, being loving, being kind, they love it when they get in relationships with people who are emotionally confused about the truth, who aren't sure if they love and believe in themselves enough to go believe in their dreams, because so long as they don't, they'll keep indulging these people in a relationship. And these people are like, this is great. It's kind of like the devil. I get all these things that the world says I should want, and I don't have to be just and fair and open and honest and loving, and I can be immature and impulsive and reckless and prideful and egotistical because this person just keeps balancing out their emotions about the fact that they're staying in a relationship with me. Oh my God, I gotta really keep this one. This one's a winner. This is my kind of person. Even though, you know, and then for others of them, you know, they can be in a relationship with loving people, but they feel like they're not getting the things that they want in the world. It might be love, but I really want those things of the world. Are we going to have the image and the status and the money and all those things that other people have that I really want? And some of those people in a relationship right now, you know, because when you have two people in a relationship, they could both have inner conflict. Like, oh my God, I want this loving person to stay in my life because it's really great to be in a relationship with a loving person. I'm really glad they're not bossy and controlling and manipulative and immature and self-centered and egotistical like I am. So that's good. But it kind of really, they don't do those things of the world and don't kind of really get into it like I do, you know, and, you know, wear the right clothes and go talk to the right people and, you know, all that social stuff that I really like to do. So they're conflicted because And then it can affect how they act and take action in the relationship, because part of them wants the relationship to end because they want to go get in a relationship with someone who's on the same page as them. And they want to let go of the people aligned with love because they really want to go be in a relationship with someone who's kind of motivated and inspired by the world just like them. And so then both people can have this inner conflict. Both of them could be trying to balance out their emotions. Should I walk away? I would think odds are eventually the people who are more social, materialistic, image focused might kind of be the ones who try to get the other person to leave because they are very driven by their ego and their image and how people view them. That's very important to them. It's not their own. Like, I don't care what the world really thinks if I acted with character and integrity and this isn't the right relationship for me and, it's going to be hard, but I got to tell my friends and family, just like you tell people I think I'm moving out of state to get a different job or, whatever, Kind of different, but, in general. So they probably would do things purposely to try, because they have this inner conflict too. I want you to stay in it because you're loving and you indulge me in a relationship. But they could do things where they stop also taking passionate action towards their partner because they kind of aren't motivated and inspired to live life like their loving partner. And they feel like they're missing the emotional opportunity to live life the way they want to live it. And so then they could ignore their loving partner. Their loving partner gets up in their head. Their intuition is telling them you should leave. And the whole thing is, if we stay in something that's already shown us it's unhealthy, the thing is, and what some people who don't want to see the truth and they don't want to walk away from it, the loving people, and they think it'll be okay. I'm sure we'll work through it. I'm sure everything will be okay. The shadowy people are more not as patient as loving people can be patient. And it could feel like they've been really tempering themselves for a long time because they are more driven by their I want what I want nature. And I can't have what I want if I'm still in a relationship with you. And I'm kind of torn because I kind of like you to stay, but I really want those things in the world. And eventually what some of the people that are staying in that, the loving people don't start to see is that eventually the other person, they will do something underhanded to try to get you to leave because they want what they want and they want to look like a shining star in the world, or they want to be in a relationship with someone who enables them even more in their poor behavior or more in their ego. It's kind of like the devil, enough is never enough. It's like a black void. It's like getting addicted to things. Enough is never enough. And if people are caught up in their fear and their insecurity, that grows bigger and bigger over time. If they're kind of bossy and controlling and want it all about them, and they've gotten spoiled rotten, that gets worse over time. If they're greedy, that, again, it's hard to understand sometimes until you've seen it, but it will destroy families and everything. And the people have more than enough, but enough is never enough. And it's always about trying to compete with the Joneses and look like it's just the ego. And the ego is like the devil. The ego is never satisfied. Enough is never enough. And the ego isn't very patient. The addiction, they're not choosing love and listening to their intuition. They want what they want. And eventually, they're going to be deceptive and manipulative to get out of this relationship, confuse everybody about the truth of why they didn't move forward in certain jobs or certain relationships that seemed like they were great. But the other job or the other relationship that they're planning to get into that they don't want people to know about, that one offers more money, more status, more image. Even if it is like doing telemarketing to bilk elderly people out of all their retirement savings. They're going to make lots of money. What they don't know is they're sabotaging themselves, but they have some hard life lessons to learn. And then there's some people who are in those mismatched relationships and they can't stay in it anymore. And they're going to listen to their intuition. And they're probably going to give it one last attempt with the person they're in a relationship with, to offer that person love, to work together with them in a relationship and work things out, acting with character and integrity and patience and love. And if this is one more time this person ignores their love and is stubborn and prideful and egotistical thinking, you'll just balance out your emotions about it, honey. Might be the last time that this person sees that person, because that person, the loving person, might say, that's it, I'm done. We shouldn't have to tell people this is it. If you've been putting in work and effort and there has been conversation, you've been trying to work things out, eventually it's a shock and people just leave. It's like, I'm done. So let's ask really quick here. What's coming up for some people to harness some high vibe? Sagittarius energy. Eight of Cups. Because of the Queen of Cups. They are walking away from either indulging other people, or they could be walking away from other people who are willing to indulge them and trying to keep them in shadowy energy. Like, I'll appeal to you in your lust, in your greed, in your pride, in your ego, because I want the status and the image or the money and the materialism. Some of them, they're detaching from. The Hierophant can represent families and stuff. There could be people that they've been aligning with and been aligned with, like, you are my foundation. And some of those people, they're realizing that those people really don't have their best interest at heart. That the people they loved and had illusions about are trying to manipulate and control them. Maybe in their relationships, in their life, in their career. And if some of them have seen the truth of that, they're going to walk away from people in their life. I view the Queen of Cups as Scorpio energy also. So it could be a Scorpio that they think harnesses shadowy energy that they viewed as loving. Could be a mother type figure in their life, someone who they thought would be loving to them, like a mother is loving, or probably to a degree looking for that loving energy that can be represented by a mother in relationships. Or someone who presents themselves as loving, but it's just an illusion. Because normally the Queen of Cups can be also people who are kind of emotionally attached to the past, and they're wanting to repeat that pattern. And some people are like, no, I don't want to repeat that pattern. And they also might be walking towards someone that they view as harnessing high vibe Queen of Cups, Seven of Cups. Someone who doesn't just create the illusion of being loving, they really are loving, and they listen to their intuition to guide them. What do the people who harness some shadowy Sagittarius energy not see coming in their life? They're either the person ignoring people's love or kind of enabling someone who's doing that. So it's kind of shadowy energy regardless. It's out of balance. Two of Cups and the World card. Well, for one, if we decide to stay in a shadowy way of being ourselves or in a shadowy relationship, the opportunity to move forward in the energy of love in the world, that cycle will close because other people are moving forward and they're learning the lessons they were meant to learn to move forward in life and live their life differently. And other people will be left behind to repeat a pattern of relationship because they weren't willing to learn the lesson. And some people might have relationships end on them. Some people might get in a new relationship because a different relationship ended on them. And If they're the one in shadowy energy, it could be more because they love the world. I'm more about my ego and my image and how people view me and pursue me. And I want people to look up to me and admire me. And I don't want to walk away from the illusion that I've created about who I am, what my truth is, what I tried to make people think the truth was. Even if I was deceptive and manipulative before, I've created this whole illusion about why I didn't move forward with certain people in my life. And I don't want to put an end to the illusion. So I'm willing, you know, what a tangled web we weave when we practice to deceive. And, you know, then people have to keep maintaining the illusion if they weren't truthful and honest. And then some people just have a lot of life lessons to learn in love, and they're going to learn those lessons by repeating a pattern of relationship, of maybe being in relationships where either they're ignoring people's love, and that relationship is probably going to end on them, or being in relationships with people who ignore their love, and it can, that they really should end it because it's an injustice in the world. And the divine doesn't want us to get so caught up in our ego and our image that we're willing to stay in unhealthy, toxic, like dead relationships, where if we have tried to get people to love and believe in themselves and they keep choosing not to, and they don't choose to be authentic and loving and warm and walk away from their fears or their insecurities or their worldly whatever attachments that they have, then we deserve to be free. And high vibe energy is about being free from being caught up in the world and your ego and your image, to live your life authentically and be free and not enslaved by the devil in a little bit of hell. So there you go, Sagittarius energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.